Hello everybody, this is Tip Top MTG, here today with another Magic the Gathering video. In today's video, we are going to be breaking down the MTG Arena State of the Game September 2020. So essentially what this is it's their monthly post saying, here's what's going to be in the big update and kind of the state of the game. So we're going to talk about everything that you can be expecting to pop up in MTG Arena this Thursday, the 17th. And yeah, we're going to go over that. So get ready to, so basically what I'm going to do, I'm going to read through it, give you my thoughts, maybe give you some other information that they're not giving, and just overall expand on what they're saying here. So this is a pretty long article, so buckle up, let's do this. Adventure awaits. Get ready to royal. In just a few short days, Zendikar Rising will be making its digital debut on MTG Arena alongside our September game update. So yeah, obviously 4 times a year they release a big game update that the whole thing is the set. So this is that. Now they generally release other things alongside it, but note that this will not be as big as some other months where they've added big features, because a lot of the development time for this month has been this set. So yes, Zendikar Rising is being introduced, and you can see here we have a little bit of like a sticker or something, and we'll read a little bit more about those here in a second. But yeah, so 2 days away from Zendikar Rising. Zendikar calls, a quest awaits. Well, technically 3 of them, plus daily and weekly rewards, because all of that resets when we release a new set, but that's beside the point. So essentially what they're saying is, hey, Thursday morning, you can log on, complete all your daily quests, and then as soon as the new set is released, it's going to give you 3, 500 gold, play 25, green spells or whatever. It's going to give you 3 of those. It's going to reset your daily wins. It's going to reset your weekly wins. So if you can play, you can kind of double dip on that day. So that's kind of interesting. But then it says, gather your adventuring party and don't forget your pet rock as we prepare for our perilous challenge and priceless rewards. Zendikar Rising will introduce 280 cards to MTG Arena. And if you haven't been keeping up with the card previews, you can view the gallery over here. I did videos covering all of the cards coming in Zendikar Rising, so you guys should check that series of videos out. And then they talk about alternate card variations. Some of them will be available direct purchase this Thursday. Others will be in-game events. So generally what they do, and they did switch this up with Core Set 2021, but generally it is the set comes out and there are a couple cosmetics that you can buy from the store straight away. And then the next month they do these festivals, which will celebrate different parts of the set. And then in each festival you will get different, collectors booster, or showcase frames or alternate arts or whatever there is in the set. And generally it's showcase frames. So we'll be probably receiving those next month. Now they also mentioned that expeditions and cards from the list will not be added to MTG Arena. For those of you who don't know, the list is a card slot in a set booster. There's a 1 in 4 chance that your token/ad is replaced with this card in its original printing. So it'll have whatever frame it was last printed in or maybe not last printed in, but it'll have a old frame. It'll have a little planeswalker symbol in the bottom left hand corner, and it's a bunch of awesome reprints. I think the highest, most expensive one was like $100 to $200, and I did a whole video covering the top 10 expensive cards. I know this seems like a bunch of just let me redirect you, but I've covered a lot of this news. And then talks about how, yes, if they introduced fetch lands into Historic, that would be insane. If they introduced, Mana Vault, I believe is in there, something like that, into Historic through the list, that would be insane. So, yeah, it makes sense that they're doing this. And they also confirmed this a little while back, and actually, I think I covered that in a different video, but that's not the point. As for those beautiful full art basic lands, you'll be able to add them to your collection in a similar fashion to the Godzilla series monster card styles we did for Ikoria Lair of Behemoths. For a limited time, when you purchase a Zendikar Rising booster bundle with at least 6 boosters, or enter a Zendikar Rising draft or sealed event, you will receive copies of the full art Zendikar Rising basic lands. Duplicate protected, and they say of course, but they don't do that much duplicate protection. Of course they do in packs, but when it comes to just here's a card, they don't do that often. And then they say this does include the Jace pre-order pack, because I believe that didn't happen in Ikoria, and that led to a lot of frustration from players who would have rather bought the packs to get them. This also means some people are going to be upset, because some people, actually these are basic lands, so it's not as bad as styles, but back when the Godzilla ones were a thing, it means that any of the Godzilla cards were auto-defaulting to their Godzilla form, so it kind of disincentivized purchase. But since these are not styles and they're a lot more basic, it makes a lot of sense. And they do say here, and I want to bring this up, copies. And at first I was very confused. I was like, okay, do you get say there's 15 basic lands. You get like a full set of 3, or sorry, a full set of 5, and then you can get another full set of 5. But what I believe it is that like, yes, you can get it for buying 6 packs, but you get 1 if you buy 6 packs, you get 2 if you buy like 12 or 18 or whatever it is. And so I believe that means that the more packs you purchase, the more of these you get. And also, you can get it through limited and sealed, which is nice for people who don't want to buy packs outright. So I do wish that these were kind of just given to us, but they've never done that with full arts, and I don't think they ever will. I also don't know whether these will be just the lands or the lands with the style. I really hope it's with the style and it's not something you have to purchase separately. Either way, next we have Express Yourself. So this is probably what I would say is the big feature of the set, or the update, sorry, besides Zendikar Rising. So one of the fun little features we're adding to Zendikar Rising is the ability to customize your in-game emote options. In addition to the default options, players will be able to unlock additional emotes from the Zendikar Rising Mastery Pass, as well as certain in-game events. So they're going to be able to give these out for rewards, maybe they'll have codes for these, and what they are is that they are a new type of cosmetic that you'll notice, you can see, like, okay, so here are your normal ones. Here are your stickers. So you can emote with stickers now that, as we saw up here, kind of move around, and right here move around. And then you also can get all of these different, you know, different sayings, I should say. And they say once they've been added to your collection, you will be able to edit what is available through your profile page, right next to the avatar and pet select. And don't worry about being selective, there is no maximum choices. If you select all available emotes, you'll be able to scroll through all of them in-game by using the arrow buttons on the emote selection screen. So here's how it's going to work. You're going to start with the classics, and I guess you can probably turn those off if you really want, but then there'll be a little arrow and you'll be able to switch through some of them, and you can actually set all of them. So what I thought they were going to do is, you see where it says classic? I thought they were going to say you get 5, pick 5. But no, you can have as many as you want. It just, the more you have, the harder it will be to find the one you're looking for, which I do think is a bad idea because it is slowing down play. I wish, you know, the classic ones were above your name and the other ones were in a list, maybe. We may make it easier, but I can see someone saying, I want every, you know, emote from every set I've ever collected all here, and when I want to find the one that specifically says backup plan, which we can see right here, I have to scroll through like 50 of them. And I think that would be bad, but maybe they will improve the UI as more of them are added. But yeah, I think that this is interesting. I know a lot of people wanted these to be customizable, but I think that that would have just led to toxic gameplay. I also saw some people complain that they are only on the Zendikar Mastery, like that a majority of these are on the Zendikar Mastery tree or pass, and I think it's good to give more rewards to the Mastery Pass and diversify it so it doesn't just feel like, oh, here's another style. It's like, ooh, now I got the sticker. In terms of the sayings, I think some of them are better than others. For instance, Zendikar Restless, when am I ever going to say that to my opponent? But things like, you know, backup plan, obey, cooperate, maybe, too fast, you know, rushing ahead, swarm, you know, those I could totally see people using. And the stickers I could see people using more as emotes, versus now it's like, you really can't emote, because if you say nice, people are going to take that condescendingly, and I think that these may allow for more casual emotes just to be nice, which I don't feel like happens enough, and it looks like they were very conservative with the thing, with them, so that none of them, you know, are like, you know, that, like, I think Worry Much will be one I put on there, but we'll have to see how this works. Then we're going to talk about mechanics just a little bit. I'm not really going to break these down. I read through all of them. But basically, modal double face cards, you get to... the interesting thing here is that you get to... You play it, and then you'll choose a side. It's very similar to if you were casting an adventure. But the thing is, in your mulligan screen, and I think this is really cool, it shows you both sides. And I don't know exactly how that's going to look, but to make sure that you don't accidentally see your hand and go, oh, no lands, or oh, only one land, but really, you have a modal double face card that is technically 2 of your lands, to avoid accidental, you know, mulligans, it'll show you both sides. And I'm not sure exactly how it's going to do that. Maybe it'll stack it on top. We'll have to see the interface, but I think that's a really good idea. And something I may not have thought of at first. Then party, they basically just say, you know, there's going to be a badge on your party cards to let you know how many party, you know, creatures in a party. Landfall, you'll see whenever a land enters the battlefield under your control, you'll be able to see the landscape of Zendikar rise over the source of the landfall trigger. Now, if this is specific, like if you play a mountain and then a mountain rises, and then you play a river and like a water, or not a river, and you play an island and a waterfall happens over it, that would be really awesome, but I have a feeling it's just going to be land rising over the landfall cards, which could look pretty cool and be pretty demanding on systems. If you have like 50 landfall cards, you drop in a land and then you get 50 animations all at once. So I think that needs to be, addressed a little bit. I think kicker, we've had it before, and they're just surrounded by VFX to increase the obviousness that, hey, this is being kicked. Okay, so yeah, those are the mechanics. I know I've plugged myself a lot, but I did a whole video covering the mechanics a little bit back when they were announced. So then we have Zendikar Rising event schedule. So you'll be able to do the premier draft and the traditional draft the day it comes out, along with sealed. So that is really nice. And then we have standard metagame challenge September 26th through the 29th. Now, I like the metagame challenges, especially right after rotation, because they are, so the meta is so new that there isn't a here's the best deck, here's what everyone's playing. Then we have quick draft, that'll start October 2nd. So if you do like quick draft because it's better, whatever, for value, whatever reason you like it, you'll have to wait a little bit. And then Zendikar Rising Constructed will be October 3rd through the 6th. Kind of wish this was just Zendikar Constructed and we could use the few Zendikar cards we have from, like, Jumpstart. I believe we have, like, Zendikar Royal in there, so that would have been pretty cool. But then they talk about rotation and renewal. So before we had this graphic with some of these missing. So for those of you who don't understand rotation, I did a video covering that called the Rotation Guide. And I know I've plugged a lot of things. I may make a comment on this video or in the description with a link to every video I mentioned. That will probably not happen right away, but it probably will be here if you're like a day after this video's come out. But basically, when this set comes out, the Guilds of Ravnica Allegiance, War of the Spark, and M20 are all going to leave standard. And so we will be left with, Throne of Eldraine, Theros Beyond Death, Ikoria, M21, Zendikar Rising. And then upcoming will be Kaldheim, Strixhaven, and Dungeons & Dragons the Forgotten Realm. So yeah, that's pretty awesome. Now, what that does mean is that these cards will be only legal in Historic. They will not be in Brawl anymore. And so, yeah, just keep that in mind, that these cards are leaving. And any of your decks that have those cards in them will no longer work. Now, what they're doing here is they're doing this thing called renewal. And they did this last year, essentially because, say, half the cards in your collection, probably less now that, we've had 2 rotations, but since a lot of the cards in your collection are rotating out, they're giving you a little bit of a boost to help you get back into having a nice full collection. And so what they're going to do is, if you log in before the 17th, so if you haven't played in a while and you've been waiting for rotation, make sure you log into MTG Arena to make sure that you qualify. And you will get 1 per, active MTG Arena account. And what you'll get is you'll get 10 rare or higher ICRs. So you'll log on, just get 10 of them. Then on the Mastery tree, they have these renewal rewards. So you end up with a basic sleeve, a bunch of Zendikar Rising boosters and Zendikar Rising mythics, some more uncommon ICRs, and that's about it. Now, that's a nice little addition. You do have to get to level 31 to get all those rewards, but, it's just a nice little thing they add along the way. And then they said, again, to be eligible to receive normal renewal rewards, you must log in before the release of Zendikar Rising. For players who've been asking how to add these Amonkhet Remastered basic lands, non-full art, to your collection, this was an oversight in the August game update. They will be granted. So, yeah, with Amonkhet, there were a bunch of basic lands that were not added. They'll be added in this update as well. So if you like those arts, you'll be able to use them. Now they want to talk about set roadmap for 2021. Basically, as a part of our Zendikar debut moment, we also want to reveal the upcoming sets for Magic the Gathering throughout 2021. MTG Arena will be supporting all of the standard sets, including Adventures in the Forgotten Realms and both Innistrad sets. And while Time Spiral Remastered and Modern Horizon 2 will only be available for tabletop play, we are fabricating additional content for MTG Arena, including Pioneer Masters, Historic Anthology 4, and Kaladesh Remastered. And there's a lot of things going on here, and we're about to go into the developer roadmap, but this is bad news. First off, we do get the announcement of Kaladesh Remastered. This is how they like to announce these little remastered sets. It's just as a throwaway line. I believe last time we saw this was back in November 2019 for Amonkhet Remastered, and we didn't get that until July of this year. So I don't know how much I would be, counting on it coming soon, but let's talk about the developer roadmap. So coming soon is what's happening this month. So we're getting Zendikar Rising, we're getting Rotation, and we're getting Renewal. And then in development, we're getting Kaladesh Remastered, Mobile, and Kaldheim. And then in concept, Historic Anthology 4, Strixhaven, Playblade rework, deck sharing, and Pioneer Masters. Now, a couple things. I really predicted mobile was coming out here. I mean, the one time we had a new, system release, you may say, oh, why would they do that at the same time as Zendikar Rising? Well, the last time we had a new operating system was alongside a set. And part of that is that they can kind of combine like 3 advertisements into one. They can advertise, what I thought they were going to do, advertise Zendikar Rising, advertise MTG Arena, and then advertise that MTG Arena is now on mobile, all at the same time. And then you have these players who are coming in right as rotation happens, so the meta is super diverse, and you get these people this really awesome initial play experience. And so I actually think this was the plan, but because of COVID-19, I think that things may have gotten pushed back. Now, they do mention this, so why don't we read it? As we affirmed in the Zendikar Rising debut, soon. For our developer roadmap purposes, we still list it under in development because on coming soon generally means the next game update, and it's not quite that soon. However, each month brings us closer to MTG Arena's launch on mobile devices, and we plan to support both iOS and Android devices at launch. Players should expect the same formats, features, and collections they currently have access to when playing on desktop. So just, hey, yeah, it's coming soon. Again, we've heard that for like a year now, but yeah, I expect it to come maybe next year, not next year, sorry, and maybe next month or the month after that, but I don't really see it pushing any further than that. Now they want to talk about Kaladesh Remastered, and I kind of want to talk about this. The next historic-only set that was supposed to come out was Pioneer Masters, and they have a little bit of a story about that. So this is a 2-part story involving both Kaladesh Remastered and Pioneer Masters. As you probably noticed, we added the former to in development and pushed the latter back to in concept. So originally, Pioneer Masters we're coming out with this before the end of the year, and it was supposed to be the next set. We learned a lot from Emote Remastered that they want to build on sooner rather than later. So instead of, saying, here's Pioneer Masters, let's release it, they now want to say, hey, let's learn what we, learn from Emote Remastered and change that do that in kind of this Pioneer Masters as well as Kaladesh Remastered. They want to do this sooner to show change and all of that and learn from that. I think that's fine. And then they also said they have a better idea of the power level of Historic in a post-Jumpstart Emote Remastered and Mythic Invitational world, and we felt this was a good time to reintroduce Kaladesh and Aether Revolt to MTG Arena, and it's still a step towards Pioneer. So essentially, hey, they learned some things from Emote Remastered. When they designed Pioneer Masters the first time, it was before they knew how powerful Historic was going to be, so this makes me think that Pioneer Masters was going to be super weak, or super powerful, but I'm pretty sure it was going to be super weak, and that wouldn't have had a big enough impact. So they're like, okay, let's push this back, redesign it, maybe make the limited environment a little bit better, and then, we can throw in Kaladesh Remastered, because even if Kaladesh Remastered isn't as powerful as something like Pioneer Masters should be, because Pioneer Masters should be bringing you all the best cards from Pioneer, Kaladesh Remastered, hey, if it's lower power, it's because that's what was in Kaladesh and Aether Revolt. However, I would not say Kaladesh and Aether Revolt was lower power, so we'll have to see. One of the biggest takeaways from Emote Remastered was how players chose to interact with the set and add cards to their collection. Based on our Historic formats, roughly the same amount of people who played Constructed Historic purchased Emote Remastered packs through the in-game store. Math checks out. What surprises is how many players participated in Emote Remastered draft and sealed events, which greatly exceeds our expectations and blurred the line between Historic and Standard players. So, people who play Historic bought packs of Emote Remastered, but even Standard players were drafting Emote Remastered, so they want to take a step back and make sure that this limited environment is really good, so that players continue to do that, and so that they can make money off of Standard players for Historic products. The Kaladesh block was known for its fast, fun, limited environment, as well as powerful cards for their constructed play, so it readily builds off the foundation of Historic that we've built throughout the year. You should expect Kaladesh Remastered by the end of the year. So, what's interesting is they say set roadmap for 2021, and then they say Kaladesh Remastered, but then they go down here to say it's at the end of this year, but whatever. Minor inconsistency. So we're replacing Pioneer Masters with Kaladesh Remastered, which I think is probably a good thing. I think I did a video recently where, I know I keep saying that, where I talk about how designing Pioneer Masters would be much harder than designing a remaster, and so I really wanted them to take their time, and I think that's what they're doing. Now, I know a lot of people are going to be upset that they're not just going to add all the powerful cards from Pioneer, but I think this is a good step. I think we want to make sure they are doing this smarter, not harder. We want to just make sure that they do this right, and I think that if they're like, hey, we need to take a step back, I think we as players should not be upset about that, because if we are, that may mean in the future they are going to then rush things, or not, when they think they need to take a step back, they won't, and then that's how we get even buggier and less developed features. Then they're going to talk about in concept. As noted above, we've shifted Pioneer Masters to the concepting phase so we can iterate on what we've learned from Amonkhet Remastered and will likely learn from Kaladesh Remaster. When we originally concepted Pioneer Masters, we put a heavy emphasis on constructed play staples, and while this remains a guiding star, we are going to use this time to get more playtesting to ensure the limited environment is just as fun. We do believe the additional time and iteration will make Pioneer Masters a better set overall. However, this does push it into 2021. And then essentially they say, hey, there's an early access event where you can go check out your favorite streamers, check it out, and then, this update comes out on the 17th. So that's it for, this state of the game. What do you guys think about it? I think that outside of the, stickers, which I do think is kind of an interesting thing, and it is bigger than some releases we've had in the past, I do think that this update's relatively small in terms of cards, and looking at the roadmap, I don't remember, first off, some things that have been lost. Cube. Cube used to be in the in-concept phase. That was like a year ago, but it's been knocked off. It's replaced it? More sets, because sets, I'm going to be honest, are what make them money. So if you'll notice, Zendikar Rising, Kaladesh Remastered, Kaldheim, Historic Anthology 4, Strixhaven, and Pioneer Masters are all card sets. That's 6 out of the, obviously more than, out of the, 1, 2, 3, so we're having double the amount of card sets as we are features, and some of these are just a new way to pick what format you want. They're not even that big, so I kind of wish that they would have thrown something new into in-concept. Just something like, hey, this is still pretty far up, but hey, we're working, and I guess they did do Cube, sorry, I guess that was released, but maybe expanding upon Cube. I don't know why I said Cube before. Yeah, they've done Cube, but other in-concept things, maybe, I don't know, building your own cube, changes to limited in some way. I don't know. I wish they would have added something here. Either way, I want to know all your thoughts on this state of the game in the comments down below. If you enjoyed, hit that like button and subscribe if you want to see more awesome content like this. I will see you in the next one.